Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are having a fantastic day. So in today's video, as you can tell by the title, we'll be talking about a large storm system, a pretty powerful one that usually we don't really see in the summertime. It's more characteristic of something we would probably see maybe in fall or obviously winter or spring. It's one that has a defined low pressure, a lot more defined than with normal summer systems. And with this, because of this atmospheric kind of helping from this strong low pressure, there could be several days, as you can see outlined here by the Storm Prediction Center, starting today, of some severe weather threats. On some days it will be smaller, on other days it will be larger, but I want to highlight that because of the system and the way it's going to be organized, some of these days, I mean, look at Sunday, that's a pretty large area of just slight, and look at the northeast there, those are large metros being covered by some severe weather potential. And even after that, or even before that, into Friday, you could see northeast is affected, and on Saturday is more of the kind of the central United States there. So the threat is definitely there, and of course, anything else that comes with severe weather, wind, tornadoes, hail, just flooding rains. So we will be talking about that in today's video. So let's begin by looking at the European model. So this is the model that I obviously like. I mean, it's one of the better ones from all the other models that we have. And notice that it's already showing a lot of precipitation across the west right now that is currently ongoing. And if you were to look at the National Weather Service, there are severe thunderstorm warnings, a lot of flood watches, flood warnings, indicative of, well, there's a lot of activity. And you can see, look at the radar right here. I mean, it's a whole mosaic of colors lighting up, and there will be some heavy rainfall, quite a bit of this, because this could go on for a few days. And obviously where you see the red colors, that's some, very, very heavy rain. And you can see that they're showing a lot of rain to start the rally. I think there's some sort of what is it, like a motorcycle? Something, I don't know what this is. Maybe someone in the comments could tell me. But yeah, a lot of rain. And you can see that some of these water amounts are going to be pretty substantial, causing flooding, especially in elevated areas where there could be runoff and whatnot. So that's the beginning of the system, but again, you can see it's still not organized. There's no low pressure, and this will continue, especially during the evening hours, flaring up, the daytime heating, right? So this is 1 p.m. again tomorrow, another big day, pretty much across very same areas. So if you're not getting any rain today across the Dakotas, you very well may tomorrow. And if you are getting rain today, you very well may tomorrow again. Saturday, you can see this thing slowly starts lifting off, bringing more, potentially again, that severe weather across Missouri, Kansas, and Iowa. But this thing is slow moving. It's not quick moving. And that's the other thing that makes this thing a little bit more concerning. But obviously, because it's occurring in the summer, there's a lot of humidity, a lot of heat. These storms are going to be pretty potentially severe wherever they do occur. And you can see that on Sunday. This is what it looks like. So again, this won't completely die off during the night. Sometimes during these summer storms, usually when there isn't a strong low pressure involved, right, we see during classic severe weather events, we see a huge flare up, say into the evening hours and afternoon, and that continues into the overnight before weakening, and usually the morning is pretty calm. In this case, there will be some sort of a rain, some sort of a storm scenario going on through much of the day and night, because of the system that's able to support that. But obviously still in the afternoon hours it will reach its peak, and you can see that on late Sunday into Monday, potentially hitting Illinois, Indiana, Iowa. And again, pretty slow moving. It's not incredibly strong, right, but it does have some wind, system wind on the backside. I wouldn't say anything too concerning, but definitely on a larger scale than we have seen in a good while. And you can see this thing meanders through the Great Lakes. This is now 4 a.m. Monday, so going into Monday. And again, a lot of areas just getting continuously rained on. And this only takes us to hour 90. Let's go back to the previous run of the European model that goes out a little bit further. And you can see that this thing goes well into the northeast and ends up intensifying into a much stronger system as it approaches Canada. Actually, 989 millibars, that's a low pressure we don't really typically see during this time of the year. And just so you know that there will be a potential for these systems later on in the long range as well. Notice as we push into next Thursday and Friday, there could be one across, again, really far northern Canada. So not as far south, but definitely still there. It's a cold front, could drag some severe weather into the United States. You can see another little system that's developing there. So, the threat isn't just going to disappear. I think there was another model one that showed that better, because that one didn't really show it. But again, so there's that first system we're talking about and everyone's kind of concerned about because of just how slow moving it is and how much severe weather it could have. Look, the European model run at midnight yesterday really showed this thing develop into quite a monster. And then you can see that we do have kind of a troughed flow, right? So a cooler air pattern, which will result in these systems moving pretty slowly. And you can see another one dives in there next week, Sunday. So I just want to show you that in the long range, things look like, the pattern could be supportive of more of these systems. All right, so looking at total accumulated rainfall from these slow-moving systems, it's pretty significant, especially obviously where it starts off here across the Dakotas, where it's really moving at a turtle pace. But again, even further east, you can see there's many areas that get a lot of rain. And again, these models aren't good for predicting the the intricacies of where these storms will line up. There will probably be several areas that get several inches from a single storm, and then proceed to have that same event maybe occur the next day and the next day. This system could span over 3 days in some areas, so that could lead obviously to some concerning rain. If you were to look at the HRRR model, which is a model that goes out far out, so it does not go out far, but it shows us a lot more precisely what may be going on versus the European or GFS that just kind of show us the the general picture. Notice again, you see those big flare-ups that mainly occur during the afternoon and evening hours, but it still goes into the overnight hours. The rain continues. The storms maybe not be severe during those times, but there will be continued rain. They do pick up their severity during the afternoon hours. You can see sending out little bows into, now this is Friday at 11 p.m. So again, these little severe weather systems, little bowing echoes could occur pretty far from the actual center of the storm, which is also something to watch for. But notice again, some of these areas here across the Dakotas really could pick up a lot of rainfall. Notice zooming in on this area, you could see some areas near the Black Hills there. I mean, potentially 4 to 6 inches of rain. I would not be surprised to see even more. That's obviously, a little concerning. The newest model one is just coming out, so we'll have to wait and see what it shows with that, as the one I was just showing you was a few hours old. But it still looks as if this could, the big picture hasn't changed. Maybe the placement of these storms has, but that changes within every hour. So the best advice I have is just keep your eyes to the sky, stay tuned to your local National Weather Service, and be alert, because again, these storms, there will be some nasty ones hidden in between some weaker ones, so don't get completely too off guard there. GFS model, another model that we like looking at. You can see it's showing this system. You can see a lot of little complexes of storms, bows, or maybe even some derechos and whatnot. I don't want to throw that word around lightly, but I mean, it's the environment for that. Late August, early August, there's some pretty bad ones that typically occur, and you can see that this thing is even well into the evening and morning hours, it's still going, and obviously flaring up in afternoon. You can see, boom, a lot of the United States under some thunderstorm coverage. And again, you can see this thing does end up developing into a pretty strong system. So many cities under this, Detroit, Chicago, Minneapolis, Des Moines. It's definitely a stronger, more classic kind of system we wouldn't typically see during the summer. The GFS, notice it doesn't really intensify this thing as quickly as a European does once it hits Canada. It's still a strong, slow-moving system, so it still drops a lot of rain. It's just that the system itself isn't as strong. So that does have a few probably implications, maybe less severe weather, and again, maybe more confined to the afternoon hours, versus the European. If it were to be a stronger system, that could go on later on into the night and evening hours or morning hours. Total accumulated precipitation still pretty high from the GFS. Actually, this only takes us through 66 hours, so let's just go back out. And you can see there are definitely going to be pockets of heavy rain, especially near the Dakotas. But even further out east, I would not be surprised to see that. 12 km models, the models that go out to 84 hours. So again, this only takes us through, I guess, early Monday. So this system would still be centered around the Great Lakes. And you can see that some of the rainfall it shows is pretty significant. Some amounts of over 7 inches. Even as far east as you can see Iowa, Illinois, not just the Dakotas. Though the Dakotas will be probably seeing the worst of it. I say Dakotas, but you can see Montana and Wyoming also getting in on that. RGM, this is a high-resolution Canadian one. Again, you can see quite a bit of rain with this one, just through 84 hours, so that's not the entirety of the system, but this is only how far out the models go. This is the 60-hour one. You can see this one really shows some pockets of very heavy rain. You can see those bright purple, basically you see those bright purple spots. That is indicative of, close to that 5 to 7 inch range. Again, will these exact areas get the rain where it shows now? Probably not, but it goes to show you that the potential is there. And then FV3 model, I don't like this one as much, but you can see it also shows quite a bit of activity there. So let's take a look at the Storm Prediction Center. So this is a threat today. Today's a pretty big day. You can see it's enhanced right across Kansas, Nebraska there into portions of Colorado. But tomorrow, again, also a threat, not nearly as much across the Central Plains as much as the Northeast. So tomorrow, a little bit of a calmer day. Saturday, though, we definitely pick things up. Again, there definitely will be an enhanced issued. It's just a little further out. You can see Kansas City, Omaha, Wichita, Lincoln, Des Moines. All those areas and cities are going to be impacted in that slight. Probably a few areas under enhanced by the time you get to it. Sunday, a very large area. I mean, you can see Chicago, Milwaukee, Indianapolis, and then into the northeast, you know, Pittsburgh, West Virginia, Charleston, Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati even getting in on that, maybe Cleveland, Utica, New York, Erie, but you know, maybe even the coastal areas getting on some of those. And again, that's still a little far out, so this area could still even grow, and there probably will be an enhanced area that is issued. So definitely, yeah, definitely a lot of activity for the next few days. And this system, again, is something we don't typically see for this time of the year, as it does have a lot of oomph with it. That typically is more correlated with systems that occur later on during the year, maybe into fall or even the winter times. I want to show you the Pua anomaly. So this is basically, or not anomaly, this is basically shows a footprint of the low pressure and how basically the more stronger the system is, the bluer the footprint is here. And I want to click on this one right here and show you this. So if you recall, the European is a model that shows this thing getting stronger as it approaches Canada, and you can see it clearly shows that as it books it into Canada there. But yesterday's midnight model run really showed this system intensifying. I mean, look at that footprint. That's, you don't typically see that during a system in the summer. That is that you know, usually those storms aren't as powerful, but in this case it is. And we'll probably see that, you know, continuing into the fall. We'll begin to see these larger and larger systems, except this is definitely still a little early out. Alright, that's basically it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next episode. See ya. Bye.